Hey guys, this is Michael with Quiet Lawn. I apologize for taking a while to get you guys my thoughts on Expo 2022, which was a couple weeks ago. We had a fantastic time, just like always, when we go to the Expo, formerly GIE. I always encourage people in the industry to go to events like this, especially this one, because it will propel your business forward faster than anything else you can do. Um, Anytime you have the opportunity to get around people who are ahead of you in business or that have answers to questions you have or solutions to problems you're having at your stage in your business, that's going to greatly reduce that learning curve and speed up the process of you getting to the next level. So I really enjoy events like this. I enjoy taking my team with me. They always learn a lot. It also gives your team a sense of how big this industry is, so that they see that there are opportunities with what we do. It's kind of hard to do that when you're just bogged down into the day-to-day tasks, like most of us are when you're out mowing or doing whatever other type of services you offer. It can be, sometimes it's hard to see the bigger picture, that there are opportunities to move up, there are opportunities to grow within this industry. But Equip Expo 2022 was awesome. Some of the key takeaways that I got was that the industry is rapidly changing and evolving. And I've told you guys this before. When I first went to the GIE, the Equip Expo, about 5 years ago, battery technology was almost shunned and laughed at. It was just barely starting to get into the Equip Expo. You had companies like Mean Green Mowers and maybe a couple of others. But, like I said, we were almost laughed at, people that thought battery technology was a better option or an option at all to use for their business. The transition I've seen over the last 5 years has been really fast. Battery technology now, each year it's grown in popularity at the show, but this year, it had the whole show. Every manufacturer is making battery technology. You have great companies like Crest coming out with technology that is very different and much improved over what's out there right now. And you have all the other players that are making improvements as well. I think the industry recognizes that change is coming, and they're jumping on board. You're starting to see all the big companies with their big money invest in battery technology, whereas before it was kind of your startups like Mean Green and stuff like that. Now you're seeing all the big boys, the Toros, the Skags, the X-Marks, all your big brands, DeWalt. You're seeing all of them get involved in the battery technology and start to move in that direction. And as I've said before, I've always thought you're going to see over the next 5 to 10 years this industry completely change. And you can see it happening when you go to shows like that. Advances in robotics, advances in software, and a lot of advances in people management. You're seeing all these different areas where you're seeing improvement, because one of the biggest problems in our industry or any industry right now is manpower. So you're seeing companies forced to come up with solutions to you be able to deliver our service and not rely on people as much, or be able to better manage the people that you do have, better take care of them. Lots of improvements in softwares as well, but you're just seeing overall a rapid change in the industry. Like I've said in previous videos, this industry is one of the few ones that hasn't been touched by technology, and it operates mostly the same way it has for the last several decades. And I think you're finally seeing that transition to where technology is coming into play, and it's really having an effect on the industry. And with that change is going to come a lot of opportunity, which is what we're trying to capitalize on with Quiet Lawn. One of the big technologies that we're excited about that I've been looking at for the last few years is called RTK. RTK stands for real-time kinematic. It's basically a more accurate GPS. Before, with GPS, like on your phone, like the GNSS receivers in your phone, you might have accuracy from like 2 to 4 meters. So, it could be 2 to 4 meters off of where your actual location is. With the RTK, this new technology, it allows us to get that down to centimeters. So the big thing from that is that it allows the robotic mowers to use this technology and get rid of the wire. And you'll see some from some of the videos I made. Companies like Crest are making their RTK mowers that are coming out early next year, and they don't need a guide wire. You basically walk the property with almost like a measuring wheel that has a receiver on it, and you map out the perimeter of the property, and the mower will know where it's at with that receiver. So basically it takes you from having to spend several $100s possibly on materials and several hours to install a robotic mower to maybe 30 minutes to an hour because you don't need the wire anymore, and you're just mapping this stuff out with that receiver. So that's a big technology. Still, there are a lot of challenges with that as far as robotic mowing. That does solve a big problem. The remaining problem is still, with these little small robotic mowers, is that you need to dedicate one mower to each property, and that gets very expensive. It gets very hard to scale. What I'm more excited about is that when these start coming out, where they start coming out with bigger mowers that are able to mow the property while you're there, with your crew, kind of these autonomous mowers. And I saw a lot of advances in that, and I think we'll have models that come out within the next couple of years that will finally be able to do that, even on small properties like we service. So, kind of what we've built Quiet Lawn for, and what the vision I've had in mind for several years is to go to that model where we have smaller crews. We're operating out of Priuses. We have an autonomous mower. Our crews pull up to the property. The mower gets out, starts mowing, and our crew member completes the rest of the service. They do the string trimming, the edging, the blowing, and whatnot. And we're finally seeing the technology on the horizon that's going to make that possible. And what that's going to do is it's going to obviously reduce labor, because labor is just really expensive. It's a big part, the biggest expense for mowing. So it's going to reduce that labor, which is going to allow a much higher profit margin and make mowing much more desirable. It's also going to allow us to pay even more to the other crew member. And that other crew member, you're finally going to see them making comparable salaries to like you see with like pest control technicians and stuff like that. You might see guys making $40,000-$50,000 a year to mow. That's going to change everything, and that's going to draw in a lot of a lot of players into the residential mowing market that weren't interested in it before because of the low margins and the high amount of labor needed. So that's something we're really excited about, and that's what we've kind of been building Quiet Lawn from the beginning. Other thing was, there softwares that integrate all of these different things. The technology is improving. Most of these batteries and pieces of equipment and these robots you see that they're able to communicate with the different software. So a time's coming when you'll be able to track all of your equipment through your CRM. You'll be able to track the hours on it. You'll be able to track any issues with it. A lot of these already have like Bluetooth or cell. They communicate through the cell network. A lot of this technology is already there, but we saw a lot of software at Expo that it integrates these things. You can see, the charge cycles on your batteries. You can see if there's any issues with them. You can see where your equipment is. You can see how long it was ran. You can see where your vehicles are. You can see, all this stuff, is starting to merge together to where you can track all of your equipment, your people, track your numbers, and, and just have all the data you need for your business in one place. So it was a great show. We had a really good time. We were fortunate to be able to meet a lot of other people in the industry. We were fortunate to meet a lot of other guys that are in the electric and lawn care space, and it was really awesome to talk to them. But if you haven't gone, I highly recommend you go. Talking about some of the equipment we saw. I didn't make a ton of videos on things like zero-turn mowers because it's, electric zero-turn mowers, because it's not something that's going to be useful in my business. And you guys have seen, the electric zero turns. The stuff I made videos on was stuff that was new or unique, or that I think is going to be kind of game changing or moving the industry in the right direction. So we'll be putting some of those out. If you have any comments or questions about anything we saw, please feel free to leave them below. But I appreciate all you guys watching. I look forward for you guys to see what we saw at the show. And I hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all getting ready for the holiday season. And we'll talk to you soon.